All right, so ready to dive into some horror.
Always up for a little darkness, especially when it's paired with some killer music.
Right, and that's exactly what we're getting into today. Bad Kids. Their new album, Horror, dropping, get this, on Halloween.
Oh, they know what they're doing with that release date. Bold move.
Totally. But before we hit play on the album, let's rewind a bit for those who haven't already devoured every lyric. Who are Bad Kids, really?
They're fascinating, really. You hear it in their interviews. They talk about this blend of youthful energy, almost like a reckless abandon, but there's this other side to them, a depth that speaks to, having lived a little.
It's like they figured out how to bottle lightning in their music. You get that in your face, high energy vibe, and then bam, a gut punch of raw emotion.
Forever Loop, their first release, total party anthem, right? But then you listen to Falling Apart, and it's like, whoa, where did that vulnerability come from?
Right. Talk about a roller coaster, and that seems to be their whole thing, embracing it all. Joy, chaos, the darkness, the light, it's all on the table.
Which, let's be honest, is where things get really interesting. Because who wants to listen to an album that's all sunshine and rainbows?
No one. Give me the real stuff, the raw, messy bits.
And speaking of real, can we talk about their influences for a second? We're talking Death by Romy, Electric Callboy, even a little Billie Eilish in there.
It's like they raided a musical thrift store and came out with the coolest, most unexpected outfit. You've got the dark pop, the metalcore energy.
And then those quieter moments, almost like they're whispering secrets in your ear. Don't forget A Vain Attempt.
Oh, absolutely. Huge influence there. That raw, almost lo-fi sound adds a whole other dimension to their music. And we can't forget about the godfathers of Electronicore.
The Browning.
Exactly. You can hear their influence in those heavy drops, those addictive beats that just get you moving. Bad Kids are taking all of these elements and weaving them into something totally unique.
They're like musical alchemists, taking these disparate elements, influences, and fusing them into something entirely new. Which, speaking of new, let's talk about Horror, the album. The title alone is a statement. And that Halloween release date, they're not messing around.
Oh, they're coming for us. And based on the lyrics I've seen, it's going to be epic. Listen to this. Raise up the ghost of the dead. I won't die like them. Intense, right?
Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a straight up banger. And the title track, Horror. Oh, man. Talk about confronting your demons. After all that has transpired, after all has taken place, the scars remain, but I rise in flames.
Chills, dude.
Chills.
It's like they're not just singing about fear, they're singing about overcoming it, rising from the ashes, which I think really gets at the heart of what they're doing with this album.
Totally. It's about embracing the full human experience, even the messy, terrifying parts.
So from what we've heard so far, Forever Loop, Fallen Apart, what else is grabbing you? What are you dying to hear more of?
FOMO in the title track, definitely. They're releasing those in the weeks leading up to the album, which is smart. Get people hyped.
Oh, I am hyped. FOMO, I mean. Talk about a universal feeling, especially in today's world.
Right. Always connected, always scrolling, always wondering if we're missing out. And Bad Kids capture that perfectly.
I'm drowning in me, torn apart, thought I had the strength, but I've lost my heart.
Man, that hits home. And that's what's so great about their music. It's raw, it's honest, it's like they're pouring their guts out on every track.
Speaking of guts, drink. Heavy stuff. Talk about emotionally charged. When they sing, I drink because of me and all my bad choices, ouch.
It's real, though.
Yeah.
They're not sugarcoating anything. They're owning their mistakes, their struggles.
Which I think is incredibly powerful. To stand there and say, yeah, I messed up, I'm hurting, but I'm still here.
It's a reminder that we're all human. We all make mistakes, and sometimes the bravest thing you can do is own up to them.
And that takes us to One Dot Loop. There's this cyclical feeling to it, like being trapped in your own head, your own pain.
Musically, it's brilliant. The repetition, the driving beats, it's like this sonic representation of being stuck.
And then Wired hits you with this jolt of energy. It's like, okay, we've acknowledged the darkness, now let's do something about it.
Feel the shock tonight.
Hey, right. It's exhilarating. It's like they're jolting us awake, reminding us that we have the power to break free from those cycles.
And then, just when you think you haven't figured out, they hit you with Starlight. Totally different vibe. Softer, more ethereal.
Like a breath of fresh air after being trapped in a dungeon.
Exactly. It's about love, resilience. You smile like a starlight, but I see the hurt in your eyes. Such a powerful line.
They have a way of just cutting through the noise, straight to the heart of the matter.
And musically, they're not afraid to experiment, to show their range. Each track is like a different chapter in this larger story they're telling.
A story about resilience, about facing your demons, about finding the light in the darkness, and it's all over their lyrics, too. Take Forever Loop, for example. They start off feeling lost, uncertain. Follow my breath. I'm finding my way.
And then it shifts. I'm moving forward without fear.
That's a powerful statement. It's like they're saying, yeah, life is scary sometimes, but we're going to face it head on.
And we're going to do it with a killer soundtrack.
And that's what Neon feels like to me, that kind of reckless abandon. We're falling down, feeling out of control, living fast, chasing our final goal. It's exhilarating, isn't it?
Absolutely. Like, yeah, it's scary to let go, but there's also this incredible freedom in it.
You're right. That's a great point. That kind of what happens, happens energy. Speaking of which, can we talk about the title track? Horror.
Oh, man. Where do we even begin with horror? It's bold. It's in your face. And given that it drops on Halloween.
They're definitely making a statement. But it's not just shock value, right? There's real depth there. Like the rest of the album, it's multi-layered.
Right. When you dig into the lyrics, horror, it's about those internal battles we all face, those scars they sing about. They could be anything. Emotional, mental.
It's open to interpretation, which I think is really cool. It lets the listener connect with it on a personal level.
Exactly. And that line, from the darkness disarmed, I feel no pain. Man, that one gets me every time. It's about finding strength in the struggle, you know?
Totally. Which makes perfect sense when you consider the journey of the album as a whole. Yeah, we're going through some dark, heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But there's always that glimmer of hope, that resilience.
Right. It's like they're saying, hey, we see you. We're right here with you. And then there's Firestorm. Talk about a call to action. The night ignites the flame. Rise from the dark, never the same.
Okay, chills. That's an anthem right there. That whole idea of transformation, of not letting the darkness consume you, it's something we see again and again in their music.
And they do it in a way that's both empowering and musically captivating. It's like, yeah, there's darkness, but there's also this incredible beauty and energy to it.
Which brings us to No Way Out. This one feels different. More atmospheric, almost haunting.
No Way Out is definitely one of the darker tracks on the album. It's claustrophobic almost. Running fast, no escape. So taste the fear. Chills, man. Chills.
And then when they call it Love's Curse, oh man, that adds a whole other layer of complexity to it. Like even love, something that should be good and pure, can be twisted into something painful.
Yeah, they're not afraid to explore the darker side of love. It's a bold move, and they pull it off brilliantly. And that line, lost in chaos, no way out, it stays with you. But before we get too lost in the darkness, we have to talk about BRKN.
There's something about BRKN.
BRKN is pure vulnerability. You can hear it in their voices. It's raw. It's heartbreaking. Calling out in December, shaking hands. I can't remember why I keep dancing through the pain. Ugh. Hits you right in the feels.
It's like they're bearing their souls to the world. And you know what? Even in that pain, there's strength. I'm falling apart, but it's quiet tonight. I can't stop this fight. They're not giving up.
Exactly. There's that refusal to be defined by their struggles. And that's a powerful message for anyone who's ever felt broken. That resilience. It's inspiring.
Absolutely. It's like they're saying, yeah, we might be broken, but we're still here. We're still fighting. You know, thinking about these lyrics, it strikes me that there's a real sense of catharsis in their music.
Oh, for sure. For both the artist and the listener, it's like this collective exhale. We're all in this together. The darkness, the struggles, the pain, it's all part of the human experience. And Bad Kids are giving us permission to talk about it, to feel it, to own it.
And, you know, that's something that really stood out to me with Drink. It's so raw, so honest. They're not shying away from the difficult stuff. They're putting it all out there.
Absolutely. Drink is such a powerful example of that. They're addressing a very real and very human struggle with addiction, with self-destruction. And they're doing it in a way that's both personal and universal. It's like they're tapping into something that resonates with so many people today, especially in a world where we're constantly bombarded with messages about perfection, about having it all together. Bad Kids are saying, hey, it's okay to not be okay.
And they're not just talking about individual struggles. They're connecting those struggles to larger societal pressures. It's like they're holding up a mirror to the world, forcing us to confront the things we'd rather ignore.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what makes horror such a powerful listening experience. It's more than just an album. It's like stepping into their world.
A world with shadows, sure, but also a surprising amount of light. There's hope woven throughout, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what's so refreshing about Bad Kids. They're not afraid to be vulnerable, to say, hey, we're messed up too. But there's strength in that, in owning it.
It's so authentic, and I think that's what resonates with people. They're not preaching, they're right there in the trenches with us.
Which is honestly kind of a relief.
Yeah.
In a world that's obsessed with presenting this perfect facade, they're like, nah, man, life's messy. Embrace the chaos.
And they do it with such a unique sound, the way they blend genres, the rawness in their voices. It's captivating. So, to bring it all home, if you're looking for an album that will make you feel everything, horror is it. It's dark, it's intense, but it's also incredibly hopeful.
It's real. And that's something we could all use a little more of.
Word! Mark your calendars, folks. October 31st, Bad Kids are coming for you. And who knows, you might just find a little piece of yourself in the darkness. Thanks for diving deep with us.